Hello and welcome to Jessie Book Club. Today we are reviewing A Respectable Trade, the TV show. I have already reviewed the book by Philippa Gregory, and I would really like to thank all my viewers for letting me know that this TV show was up on YouTube, because for years I couldn't find it. I could only find clips that were in Spanish. I'm going to compare this TV show to the book. The show was made in 1998 and looks the part. This copy on YouTube has obviously been taken from an old VHS, and I plan to leave a link to it down below in the description. Josiah Cole's character is a caricature of the character Philippa Gregory created in her book. The TV show has made him much older and into a bumbling idiot. They have also made his house on the quayside look in much worse repair than it is in the book. And they have made Frances much younger than she is in the book. I found watching this on YouTube very hard. YouTube put in adverts literally every 5 minutes, and I found it incredibly irritating, but that is YouTube's fault, nobody else's. I just had to complain. The first part seems like a fair adaptation of the book. Things move a lot faster than they do in the book, but that's to be expected. It is TV. My main complaint would probably be that Frances doesn't seem as lonely as she is in the book. It's not coming across properly, and we're not getting enough Mahuru and the other slaves, but maybe we will get more in the second part. There also isn't enough talk about money or trade. In the book, it is obvious that Frances's dowry is tied up in the new slave venture, and that Josiah has taken out too much money on credit, but there's not enough focus on that in this show. I have to admit, the scenery and sets in this show are pretty good, especially for when it was made 20 years ago. The costumes have definitely had a lot of thought put into them, and they look of the period. Sarah Cole, though, Josiah's older sister, is far too old. When I read the book, I never pictured her like this, so I found this quite jarring, but it's a character change I can live with, but I don't think it adds anything. I really enjoyed the bit where Mahuru punches drunk Josiah. As far as I can recall, that doesn't happen in the book. After finishing the first part, I am happily surprised by this TV show and how accurate it is to the book, especially the dancing scene. I think if they tried to make this book into a TV show now, they would put a lot of unnecessary sex into it, like historical fiction always does nowadays. But this isn't oversexed. A little bit more than in the book, but it's good. I'm enjoying it so far. Some of the acting in this TV show is a bit ropey, probably because it was made for TV. The scene between Frances and Sarah where they're fighting and there's the slap, it looked so fake. Emma Fielding, who plays Frances, is definitely not the best actress in the world. Arion Barak, who plays Mahuru, is definitely the best actor in this entire program, but the flirting between Mahuru and Frances is completely woeful. I think the writing is very lackluster. I'm sorry, Philippa Gregory. I know you wrote the screenplay, but there is just no chemistry on screen. But that could be Emma Fielding's bad acting. Anna Massey, who plays Sarah Cole, is a very good actress, but she doesn't get enough screen time for proper plot development. The sex scene between Frances and Mahuru in the field of poppies is so cheesy and stereotypical. It should be on the cover of a well-worn romance novel in your local bookshop. And it's not in the original book, so of course that annoyed me as well. The fight scene between Mahuru and Bates is completely ridiculous. It put me in mind of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The first series, the original series where Captain Kirk is fighting the Gorn. That scene between Mahuru and Bates is so badly choreographed, it's not even good. The timeline of this show is different from the books. They've sped it up a lot, and I feel like it makes less sense. The bit where they make Josiah Cole go crazy just out of the blue, and he starts worshipping a blue Chinese dragon statue. Why did they put that in? It makes no sense. And after escaping, why would Mahuru come back and risk being caught again? For love, yes, but is love worth bondage? Surely Frances would understand why you wouldn't come back. They really should have included the big dramatic scene at the end of the book where the bailiffs come to the house on Queen Square and they're getting all the stuff, and Josiah, Cole, and Sarah try to fight them off. That's the big climax, and it's not in the TV show. I think maybe if they'd had it, it would have saved this lukewarm show. I had a lot of hope in part 1. Part 2 has been a big letdown. Frances should have died at home giving birth. The fact they had that strange scene with her dying after giving birth under a tree made very little sense. They should have kept to the book version. It's more fitting for the time period. I give this show 5 out of 10. With that in mind, I am accounting for the fact this is over 20 years old, but the first part of this mini-series had a lot more effort put into it than the second part, I feel. The second part of this series is wildly off course. They throw Philippa Gregory's book away, and I cannot believe Philippa Gregory was involved in writing the screenplay for this and that she allowed her book to be mutilated in this fashion. She was in fact part of the mutilation. IMDb gives this 7.6 out of 10, and I don't know how. It is discernibly the same story as the book, but the TV show lacks a lot of the trauma and double dealing that make the book a good read. If you are a big Philippa Gregory fan, it is probably worth watching. It is not as good as The White Queen, but discernibly much better than The Spanish Princess or The White Princess. But that is my humble opinion. Let me know what yours is down in the comments, and be sure to check out Respectable Trade. I'm going to leave a link to part 1 and part 2 in the description, and let me know your thoughts. You can subscribe for more Philippa Gregory videos. I have a full playlist. Make sure and like this video. You can also follow me on Instagram at Lady Jessica Riddell. Until next time, bye! Have a wonderful day!